It's your boy Norbs here with my man DMV Fanatic, and this is the 10-8 podcast. And it's Friday night. Top Rank just had some fights. I was watching them earlier, but I kind of was like, I had to put the kids to sleep, so I had to walk away. But I mean, it seems like it's. First of all, introduce yourself, my brother.
Yeah, man. All right, DMV Fanatic. Typically, I know you a Giants fan. Typically,
Absolutely.
I'm a Cowboys podcaster, but I also do boxing. I actually started in boxing first.
Okay.
So I'm in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And man, we love our boxing. We love our football out here. So
I mean, the
I'm glad to be
DMV.
here, bro.
I mean, the DMV has a lot of good boxers. A lot. I mean, the Russell brothers.
Yeah.
Tank. They got a lot going on right now.
Yeah, we saw Gary Antoine lose the other night, man.
Yeah, he looked a little off, man. Landing in the front, like I was surprised, but
I thought he was just. I thought he was just a better fighter than him that night. Like he was just better than him a little bit,
You know what it is though too. I feel like some fighters when they have that whole knockout streak going, because he had every fight he won by knockout. It tends to kind of, when they can't get that knockout, they don't know how to continue going or finish a fight off. And I think that's a big thing. And we're going to get into that with Tank, because I feel like with Tank Garcia, hear me? With Tank Davis, he's going to run into some issues in regards to that. But let's talk about what everybody's talking about right now. First and foremost, Ryan Garcia gets suspended, right? And he gets suspended by the New York State Athletic Commission for a year, right? Has to pay $1.1 million to Golden Boy, which is weird, and the New York State Athletic Commission, and they're supposed to give a percentage to Devin Haney. Which was kind of weird. Now, let's break it down to how I want to break it down. I found it extremely awkward, and you're an NFL fan. You probably watch basketball. You probably watch a lot of stuff, right? I'm the same way.
Yeah,
I've never seen in my 40 years of life an athlete negotiate his actual suspension. I felt like I'm watching it, and I called it before. I said, in this situation, I feel like the fight happened April 20th. It's June 21st, I think, right now. It's literally 2 months later, pretty much, that he got suspended. And I felt like they did not want to suspend Ryan because of the type of money that he brings in to boxing. And I felt like they were looking for and giving him opportunities to really clear himself, and he just couldn't. But to me, when I seen the suspension, it was laughable. I mean, that's awful. I thought it was absolutely embarrassing. They should have just not suspended him, because they suspended him for a year. I mean, fighters like him fight once a year. So to me, I mean, it was absolutely insane. I mean, Fanatic, I mean, you tell me, when you heard the suspension, you saw, what'd you think about it?
When I heard the suspension, I was okay with it. I'll tell you why I was okay with it.
Okay.
And it's not going to come from the whole cheating aspect of it, like everybody thinks, like, oh, this is why he beat Devin Haney. No, that's not my aspect. I kind of think that these fighters today, they're cutting a lot of corners with the weights. They're blowing up. They're becoming part-time boxers. So in order for them to stay in shape all year round, they need to stop using so much of these stop using so much of these supplements and just stay in the gym a little bit more. Because you saw Ryan the other night, and Ryan looks like he's my size right now. I'm about 210. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ryan looks like he's my size right now. And it's like, bro, you just fought you went down to 143. You tried to go to 140. So I think that a lot of these guys, it would cut out a lot of the weight bullying. Now, you said the 1 year is kind of laughable. I could see that. At the same time, though, that's a year that he's losing in his prime. You know what I'm saying? So I get both sides.
Think about it. If he fights once a year, next June, it's pretty much on schedule. What's the actual suspension? He's not going to fight 2 times.
The only thing is Ryan had some big things on the horizon, because he was trying to get maybe a Spence fight or somebody else within 3 months. So that kind of blocks some of the big things that he wanted to do, because I think he wanted to have a big fight in Dallas. They were kind of
Spence,
they blocked out a date for AT&T Stadium, so that kind of stops him from that big money fight, and he has to start over again as far as trying to build that. You know what I'm saying? Because I do think that would have sold right all for the Devin Haney fight. Yeah, for sure. Now, I don't know what it would have looked like, but I think that was an event that possibly could have done some numbers for him.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, but this is my thing with that situation. The fact that he kind of made a mockery of boxing, right? And it's kind of helter-skelter with boxing. If you look at boxing, there's no set rules. It's like I just watched Canelo's #1 contender become Schultz. I've never even heard of him. I've never heard of him. It's like money talks. Edgar Berlanga becomes #1 contender. Who the hell did he beat?
That's laughable.
100%. So when I seen the suspension, and this is where I'm going with it. We just watched, and I don't know if you've seen it on Instagram. There was a boxer I don't know what league this was. It's a boxing league. And yesterday, I think it was yesterday, the day before, he's boxing. I think he catches like a jab to the face, takes 2 steps back, and has like a mental, I don't know what happened. And I don't know if he died or whatnot. My prayers go out to his family. And that's what, and he goes down like that, right? And the reason I bring that up is because boxing is the only sport where there's actual deaths. So for Ryan Garcia to even do what he did, and people say, "Oh, it was a little bit amount." You don't know actually how much that was. What actually came out, like the residue in his in whatever. People are dying in this sport, right?
Yeah,
and you got to set an example. And the fact that money at this point can just block out everything, it's kind of scary, to be honest with you. Devin Haney took a beating. He took an absolute beating.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
And I just feel like, and I like Ryan Garcia, but I feel like you have to make some type of example out of him. And I don't think they did. I think it was a slap on the wrist. And not only that, what it did to Devin Haney, I don't care what anybody says. Devin Haney was not selling before this fight. He's not a big, he was coming up. This really put a black eye and a black cloud over Devin Haney. And bro,
yes,
look at his relationship with what's his name from PBC. Oh God, what's his name? What is his name?
Is it Leonard Ellaby or is it Floyd?
No. The English guy, whatever his name is. Anyways, he did an interview. Yeah, Eddie Hearn. Sorry, Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn before the fight, right? Before he signed or worked out some type of situation with him. He was about to push him as the next superstar. All of a sudden, he has to take less money. He's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? So to me, not only that, you're talking about death, how it's going to affect this man's career moving forward. And we don't even know what it's going to affect him mentally. And that's why I'm kind of like, I just can't agree with it. It's absolutely crazy.
In the same breath, though, bro.
Yeah.
I feel you on that. And remember, we talked before this. I'm a big Devin Haney fan. So I got killed in your comments because I'm all about accountability as well.
Absolutely.
What did you do? What did you do in the situation that made things, bad? You allowed him to come in 3 pounds overweight, you know what I'm saying? And you took the money or you negotiated the money to take that, right? Because you thought it was a walk in the park.
Yeah.
It wasn't a walk in the park. You got hurt early and then you found a way, you were banking rounds and you were cruising. And then all of a sudden you got too comfortable and you started fighting the wrong fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Devin did some things wrong here as well. And that to me ain't on Ryan. The purse bid or whatever, and you having the mandatory, take the fight, bro. You take the fight, you come back, you get your legs up under you, and you get your confidence back. Now all of a sudden you're talking about taking a year off and waiting for Ryan to come back and trying to run it back. Like, bro, you didn't get suspended. So get yourself back in order because there's a lot of deficiencies you need to fix.
Absolutely. But
go ahead.
No, in the same breath though, he's trying to get a fight. I mean, Eddie Hearn just said he has to take way less money.
Yeah, sometimes you have to, bro. Sometimes you have to. Look, I get it. No contest. You're still undefeated. The whole world saw that though, bro. Like everybody saw it. Yeah. You have to get your sometimes. And here's the thing. Some of the greatest fighters of all time have taken ass whoopings. It happens, you know. Yeah. And the great ones, what do? They find a way to come back. They find a way to get back on the street. They find a way. Hell, I'm old enough to remember, and I know you're old enough to remember. Lennox Lewis, remember how they called him Chinny, and he had a bad chin, and all of that.
Cole knocking him out. Yeah.
Do you remember Vladimir had a chin problem? You remember Vlad had. Yep. Mm-hmm. He lost some bad fights. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He lost worse opponents than what Devin Haney did.
But wait, there's something you're missing, right? That is absolutely true. But this only happens, and I'm going to keep it real, to the black fighters. Ever since Floyd Mayweather made the thing. It had to be the thing. And now a lot of these guys won't fight each other because what happens if they get a loss? Look how people look at Errol Spence. Errol Spence is one of the greatest fighters of all time. He takes that loss, he's dog shit to people.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And also too, it goes to something that Floyd said, because maybe the fighters are a little bit more spoiled today. Yeah. And knowing that sometimes you got to be a little bit more humble, and sometimes you're not going to be a main. You're not going to be a main event. Sometimes you're going to have to fight some undercard. You're going to have to fight your way back. You know, sometimes that's going to happen. It's better to fight your way back than to be on the shelf completely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that sometimes some people need to get in these guys' ears about that, because you are a black fighter. Unfortunately, that's just the hand you were dealt. But think about this though. It happens to the black fighters that typically don't have knockout power, because Errol Spence can get fights. Yeah, it's just him picking the right fight. Mm-hmm. He can get events. Look, he about to get Fundora. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But he was about to get Ryan
Cameron. Yeah, no, it's a fact.
Yeah, so it happens. Like, if you got knockout power, it's a little different. Deontay Wilder can still get fights, unfortunately.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's the problem with Devin Haney. He does not.
It is.
And that's the difference between Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis. Devin Haney had to fight big fights. Gervonta, as long as he's knocking people out, he can fight anybody. But that's going to be the uphill battle for Devin. And the last thing that people remember, and think about this for a second. Think about people's mindsets of Devin Haney before the Ryan Garcia fight. And this is the crazy thing. Oh, he's this. He's going to be the next Floyd. People were going crazy. All of a sudden, he takes this beating, and he doesn't know how to throw a jab. He doesn't do this. And I'm watching this, and I see it. And now Devin Haney's actually admitted it. There's actually audio out there. He did an interview where he's talking about he can't even get people to bid for the fights. And you know, he's actually suing Ryan Garcia because of it. And, you know, people are killing him for it, but think about it. His business is kind of ruined at this point.
I kind of think that's weak, bro. I'm sorry, man. I think it's weak.
A lot of people do.
Weak, bro. Get your ass back in the ring and fix it. Like, I was just talking on live on my channel.
Yeah.
These entitled fighters, and you said it about Ryan. Both of these guys, both of these sides are entitled as hell. Both of them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Ryan doesn't think it's that big of a deal, and he's used to getting his way. And that's why, and they almost gave him his way. Like you said, he's been allowed to negotiate, been allowed to negotiate you cheating. You know what I'm saying? And then Devin, on this hand, like, bro, you lost. It's part of the game. You gotta fight back uphill. Yeah. You don't want to fight back uphill. You want things. You want to sue. Like, come on.
Well, bro. I mean, think about it. Look at the words that he used after the fight. He's never been dominated ever physically by any fighter ever, right? And that's I mean, that's the belief that he has in his head right now. Like, you've seen him in the ring. Like, he really could not, and he couldn't really take a punch before that. And Ryan's a puncher, but you could see his confidence. Like, bro, Adrian Broner said that he's thinking about retiring. He was talking about taking 2 years off, waiting for Ryan after the suspension. I don't know if his heart is actually in it. He was questioning his dad. His dad put a lot on him. His dad running his mouth.
And he should question his father. He should, even though I love Bill Haney and but sorry, not to cut you off.
You good?
Yeah, I mean, I love Bill Haney.
Yeah, me too.
But Devin fought the wrong fight in there.
Absolutely.
And I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it was his. I don't know if he got hurt and he wasn't able to carry the things out because he got hurt in the first round. He got hurt pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I just thought he fought the wrong fight, and that could happen. I think if he stayed the course like he did rounds 2 through 6, I think he would have cruised through that night.
And let's get to that fight. And I think people don't realize too with Devin Haney again, he is a very boring fighter. That's how he wins fights. He started being more aggressive to get people to tune into him. That's why he fought Prograis the way he fought Prograis, the way he fought Lomachenko. He started trying to be more aggressive because his style is very boring. Look what they're doing to Shakur Stevenson. It's a very similar type of fight. They'll take you to distance, take you all the way, dominate you that way. And pretty much he walked in there, thought he could do that with Ryan, and got smoked. I mean, there's no other way to say it. Mm-hmm. But I'm definitely with you on the Bill Haney situation. But, Bill Haney now has to fix Devin mentally. He has to fix his brand. And that's why the lawsuit it's something that they're doing because I don't believe that they believe they can get fights anymore at what they were getting before.
Okay, so let's say you win a lawsuit. What does that do for your? Does that help your mental because you won in court? You won at something. The hell, like bro, like I don't get it. The only way you get that back is you get back in there.
That I agree with, but I don't believe they think. I don't believe that Bill believes that Haney can beat him. I don't believe Bill believes he can get him back to what he is. Bill's out. He's working the phones. He's trying to call.
Look, Ryan isn't the reason they can't get fights. The reason they can't get fights is because Bill has burned so many damn bridges.
That is true too.
Like at this point, bro, like if I look at after this fight and how they've handled things, like I really wish, and I say this with love, man. I say this with love. Shut up. Shut the hell up, bro. Yeah. Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. Get back in the lab. Like even with all this stuff going on in the background and stuff, like Bill had to come out and act like he's Paul Bearer or somebody, like it's WWE.
Jimmy Hart, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Much, like if you knew all these things were going on, and you had your legal team and stuff working it, you didn't have to really talk about it. Who wants to work with you? You guys look like spoiled brats.
Yeah, that's true.
And look, trust me, guys. Look, I say this. I'm a big Devin Haney fan. I think Devin Haney was really good for the sport. And I say that because he was fighting.
He was getting the big fights, fighting the big fights, yeah.
He was active. Like a lot of these guys, like you talk about guys fighting one time a year, he's fighting 2 to 3 times a year.
And he's fighting champs, yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was great. He's great for the sport.
Yeah.
But at this point, like the way that you're acting, man, y'all got to learn how to take a loss. Now, again, no contest or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But you got to look, it's still a loss to most people. It's still a loss to you if you got to sue him in court.
No, but even to your point with the no contest, you said it earlier. Everybody saw it. It's not like it happened when you were, starting off. And no, bro, people have been talking about this for months at this point. Yep. So to me, the whole no contest thing, and I seen the little fake dance that Devin did at the bowling alley, bro. I don't believe any of it. I don't. Nobody's going to forget that, and that's why they're suing. They're like, look, I don't believe Bill Haney feels like he can fix the situation.
But here's my thing, Nor.
Yeah.
I feel like you have an advantage to get back in the ring. Bob Arum Bob and Aaron bought that fight. Eddie Hearn didn't. Yeah, you said sloppy work. Cool. Go fight for Bob. Go get you some fights in your belt. And then if you do get Ryan back, you have the advantage here.
Mm-hmm.
You have the advantage. Like, I mean, maybe I'm crazy, but I just think you go get that little check. You know what I'm saying? Start building it back.
Bob, apparently he wanted Teofimo, which is a big fight. That's what I heard.
I mean,
I don't think he wins that fight. I'm going to be honest with you.
Look, it's actually funny. Pre Ryan, I think he could win that fight. I don't think he can win it now because he can't stop a left hook.
He can't stop a left hook, and you just got to be on him. I mean, pretty much. Like he couldn't. He really couldn't take the speed and the power. Like he really could not, man. And I mean, I don't know. I feel like, you know, I would love to see the Teofimo fight, but I believe that, and again, this is why the lawsuit's going on, that they are not getting offered anything crazy. Like, and they're taking it like, yo, but we're undefeated. But everybody, that's the thing.
But you don't want to defend your belt. Like, here, your leverage is your belt, bro. Your leverage is your belt because you can't knock nobody out. You're not a power puncher. Mm-mm. Like, you can move and say like, oh, I'm only fighting at the weights I want to fight. You can do that when you're knocking people's block off. You're not knocking people's block off right now.
Absolutely.
You can do that when, like, Canelo could say, hey, I'm going to be at 155 because he was knocking people out.
Yeah.
You're not that, bro.
No.
And I just want to know, like, the people in the corner, who's telling them, like, hey, dog, look, this is what it is. All right? You're going to have to fight your way back up. There's nothing wrong with it. Mm-hmm. But until you can really show the public that they should really buy your fights, hey,
this is what it is. This is a different era of boxing, right? So a lot of a lot of guys that mimic the Floyds and all that, people tend to forget. Floyd used to let his hands go. He was an action-packed fighter at one point.
He was knocking people out. Yeah, he sure was.
Towards the end of his career, or towards after De La Hoya, let's say, he was more, selective. These guys are fighting like that and being boring as hell. People want to see knockouts. Gervonta Davis is prime example. He's literally beaten Ryan Garcia's biggest victory. That's his biggest victory.
Yeah.
And people continue to tune in. People want to see knockouts or great fights. People continue to watch Canelo. You know what I'm saying? People love Canelo. People love Ryan Garcia. I mean, people love them. People love Bud. So to me, it's like that style of fighting, if you're not undefeated, you lose the aura of invincibility. Look at Adrian Broner. Once he took that Maidana loss, he's been straight dog shit since.
Yeah.
And
glad you said that. You said that because
it's the facts. Yeah.
It's not. What do they have? Well, no, not Devin Haney, but it's not. We're starting to see this, and this is a trend. I'm glad you brought up Broner. The PBC fighters, bro, and I love PBC, but the way that they scheduled them, they're not prepared for anything outside of what's tailor made. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that about Devin because I think his opponents have been kind of different. I think Ryan just was on one that night.
Yeah,
but Broner has been dog shit because Broner's 4 title reign. Mm-hmm. That thing was it was tailor made for him to do that.
I mean, this is different. This is completely off topic, but
I know
Adrian Broner. I think Adrian Broner, to be perfectly honest with you, I feel like you ever seen like a baseball player when he goes on a slump, right? And they end up seeing a psychiatrist because they can't figure out why they're in a slump. When Maidana beat him senseless, that's what triggered him. He became gun shy. He doesn't let his hands go. He just walks up and tries the last 12 rounds. But
you're right. But I also think he has. I mean, between us and people watching, I think AB got CTE low key.
He might. I mean, bro, if NFL players are getting CTE and boxers mainly getting hit in the head more than anybody. I definitely believe that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised.
And he got a chin too, so he's like he stands like he don't get. It's not like he getting knocked out. Like him getting dropped like that by Blair to Flair.
Yeah,
that don't happen. Not to him. He normally kind of stands up to some of the bigger punchers too.
Edot said that Haney should fight Blair to Flair. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. That's actually not a bad idea. I don't think Blair to Flair is that good. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. But maybe if Devin wants to get back,
Devin was smoked. Actually, Devin was smoked the hell out of Blair to Flair, in my opinion.
Smoking Blair to Flair.
In my opinion, I think that would be one of his easier fights.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. But that back to Devin, I feel like you got to question his desire to come back, and if he actually believes he can. I don't believe, and this is just from watching his father talk. Watching Devin, I don't believe that they believe in Devin anymore, and I don't even think Devin believes in Devin at this point. And that's just being honest, bro.
Yeah.
Suing this man, he didn't even, He
suing
didn't even
means
want
I don't
rematch.
believe. You're right. Yeah, it means I don't
even want the rematch. He was like, "Yo, I'll never." I'm like, bro, like
that was the most disheartening.
Yeah.
That was the most disheartening part to me, as you're saying it, bro. Him not wanting the rematch. Like, I'm just like, bro, like people are killing me in your comments or your posts when all I said was like, I think it should be a no contest, but we all saw what we saw. And Haney, look, the Haney fans, look, I'm a Haney fan. Folks are killing me on it, but I'm like, look, I just want my dog to want some get back. Like, I just want you to get back on the horse. That's it.
Prime example to your point, right? Miguel Cotto fought Antonio Margarito, got beat bad.
Yeah, bad. Yeah,
bad. Right. Comes out that he had the cement in his hands. What did Cotto do? Cotto could have turned around and quit.
Cotto wanted that get back. Cotto wanted that get back.
Whipped his ass.
Yeah,
like, I'm talking about. It came and knocked him out. That's the only way Devin Haney can actually get people's respect at this point, is to beat Ryan. But not only beat Ryan emphatically, he has to almost, in my opinion, stop Ryan or make him look really bad.
And you know what? Cotto took fights in between there too.
Yeah.
While Margarito took fight, but remember, Margarito was off, similar to how Ryan is, but it's because Manny Pacquiao messed his eye up. So Cotto took advantage. He knew, hey, I'm about to whoop your ass this time.
Yep. And he did.
Devin needs to get back on the horse.
Yeah, and but that's the thing with Devin. And people can say whatever they want. Devin can cap, Bill can cap. They've talked about is getting the O off, and now they're suing, and
that O is trash right now.
Yeah, I know, bro. And that's the thing. People are like, oh, he's undefeated. No, he's not. Let's be honest. His record's 31-0 and 1 no contest. Everybody's seeing what actually happened. That is not going to leave the mind of any boxing fans at this point. If he wants to get back on track, he has to fight Ryan. He has to. And he has to prove that it was because of the PEDs. That's why that fight went the way it went. But in my opinion, that beating that he took is living in his head every day. After the fight, he said, he goes, I've never been, I don't know what the exact word, like manhandled by another fighter like that in my entire life. Like, you could see it in his eyes. And you know, you guys got to look at Devin prior to that fight, what people were saying about him, what Timothy Bradley was saying about him. People felt like he was gonna run through 140. You know what I'm saying?
Including me.
Yeah.
Including me. Yeah.
Yeah. But I really believe that there is something going on in his camp right now that maybe they just don't believe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
I haven't even seen Bill and Devin together since the fight. I haven't seen anything with them together. I mean, stop me if I'm wrong. I could be.
Yeah, and I think part of it might be that maybe it's time to change trainers. I mean,
that's another thing. Yeah,
I think that maybe look, I've been saying this for a while. You want to learn how to let your hands go? To me, I think there's one guy you go to learn let your hands go, and he worked with them a little bit. You go to Roach. You go to Roach.
Yeah.
If you're trying to learn how to let your hands go. If you want to be a little bit more defensively responsible, and you want to actually fight the way that you're trying to emulate, bro, tell your dad to shut the hell up, and you go and you make amends with Floyd, and you go back and you work with those guys over there. You know, that's where I think like Bill, hey, you just handle this and this right here. I need a trainer.
Yeah.
I need a trainer. You know what I'm saying? Because Floyd was able to kind of break down some of the things that he was doing. And I think I also think Floyd gave Ryan pointers on those things. Because who knew him better? I don't think there's anybody out there who knew Devin better than Floyd.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And you know, Floyd was a scientist that he broke people down before he even fought them. And you know, and I saw it too before Devin. I kept telling people even before the fight, I was like, look, and I was telling my boy Joe McCoy, shout out to him. I remember the night before the fight. I was like, the one thing about Ryan Garcia is, yeah, he lacks discipline. Yeah, he's kind of an a-hole, right? But he's fast and he's got a lot of raw talent.
Yes.
And I was like, his raw talent, if he lands that shot, it's going to it's gonna really, really put something in Devin's head. And that's exactly what happened.
Like, early too. Early.
First round.
Early.
Yeah. But you know, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm rooting for Devin. I don't want to see him down the way he is right now. But I think mentally it's something that they're going to have to evaluate at the situation. And you're right. He definitely needs another trainer. Devin Haney was never a fighter. He wasn't a trainer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I say part-time. Look, I'd say these fighters are part-time because, look, a couple weeks after he gets into it with Tank and they get into a John match and you see Devin and he looks like he about 190 again. And it's like, bro, what are we doing?
Yeah, no, 100%. No, 100%. And, you know, now everything's coming out about Devin, about the weight bullying and all. Yo, bro, when you made the comment on my post, I seen it. I was like, yo, why is there? He didn't antagonize anybody. He didn't say nothing. He's getting mauled.
Yeah, like, no.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, all I said was, bro, we can't unsee we can't unsee what happened.
Yeah. No, I mean,
look, it's factual, bro. It's factual. Yeah, okay. Look, people don't understand stuff like, oh, well, if you got cheated, this is how you act. Nah, bro. You think that? Look, I played sports before. Yeah. I've been cheated in other sports. Look, I'll give you an example. Maybe I was more like Bill Haney. I coach youth football. This year with my son's team.
Yeah.
And we went undefeated all the way to the championship game. We even beat the team that we lost to in the championship. They went out and got older kids. You know what I'm saying? That was dangerous to my boys. They went out, got older, bigger, heavier, faster kids. And, you know, football, one hit can. Yeah. So mentally, I was shooken up about it for a little bit, but I want my get back. So, hey, look, that's how this sport goes. You getting ready for high school. When you get high school, they can be as big and fast as they want. So, hey, it's no excuse. Get back on the horse.
I see. I do agree half and half with you in that situation because when football's a team sport, right? Yeah, you can get and again at that age, a year difference is a major difference or two, right? But it's a team sport, right?
Mm-hmm.
In boxing, and I remember I was watching this documentary on Hector Camacho, who was one of my favorite fighters of all time. All right. One of the most underrated fighters ever, right? And he fought Rosario, right? And for the first time, and he was washing cats for a minute. For the first time, he was in a fight and got hit, right? Mm-hmm. And after that fight, he didn't want to engage like he used to. And Camacho used to, he used to get busy, right? And mentally, it was just messing with him. So to me, Devin, I mean, people have to watch the fight and see. I mean, it was a beating. Mentally, he was just, mentally, physically destroyed. And think about it. in the biggest stage he could possibly ever be in. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of things to me, and I think people underestimate mental health, right?
Yeah.
Mentally, he has to be there, and I think that's where I think he may be lost at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I mean, at the same time, there were other guys that we felt like could have mentally lost it until they did it. You know, so I just think that these younger fighters just got to learn how to take. They just got to learn how to take a loss, and
No, 100%.
if it's too much, retire, bro.
No, 100%. Like, it's one thing to get knocked out, right?
He should have been knocked out, by the way. I think we're not having this conversation about his mental health if the ref stops in around 8. Because he took a beating from round 9, 10, 11. That's really what a beating really commenced, in my opinion.
No, 100%. There's one thing to get knocked out. Like Manny Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez, right? Comes back, does what he got to do. But when you take a physical beating like that, drawn out, it's kind of embarrassing. And I feel like he had the heart. You know, he tried, but you know, I feel like there's just too much things going on in the media, which to me, I feel like that's why Devin is reverting to this lawsuit, because I don't think he believes he can even get his career back on track. And matter of fact, let me play this audio. I forgot to play the audio, so let's listen to Devin's audio real quick in this interview. Totally forgot about this, and it was kind of alarming to me when I watched it. Let me see. This is it right here. Here it is. So let me.
I saw in the comments somebody said Devin was calling out Boots before the Ryan fight. Woo, that would have been ugly, man. Oh God.
Did you hear that? Hold on.
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it.
What's up, man? We have a little bit of a situation here.
So basically, what he was saying was that I'm gonna read. Let me get the other post. Let me see if I got it here. Basically, he was saying that he cannot. Basically he's losing out on the biddings. Nobody wants to give him the money, and it's all because of the impact of the beating that he took against Ryan. So he's basically saying that his lawyers are going to go out there and prove, because Ryan Garcia cheated, that it affected his brand to the point where he can't get the type of money that he was once getting. And that's what he's saying. So if you hear him in his voice, like he's like, my legal team's gonna go out there and prove that it's Ryan Garcia's fault that now I can't get these fights because he cheated. He doesn't seem like he wants get back in the ring. That's the crazy shit. Like,
you want to get back everywhere else, man. Yeah. You want to get back everywhere else. And what I don't like the precedent that is set. You know what I'm saying? It's all about precedent. So if, let's say, somebody comes in overweight, right, and you fight them and you get your ass whooped, what's to stop people from going to sue the fighter for coming?
He's done it though. I mean, think about it. That's a great point, because when he fought Regis Prograis, he showed up at 165 and laughed about it. Now, this is the crazy thing. I think for that title, you can only be 10% over the weight once you weigh in. So if the fight is at 140, you can only be 14 pounds of weight, and that's what you can only balloon up to 154. He went up to 165. Nobody complained about that. So, I mean, I feel like, he's done it himself. So I feel like there's a lot of people that don't feel bad about it because of that as well. But you're right. You're right.
And you took the money. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you didn't like it, if you didn't like the weight, don't take the money. Fight is all.
Yeah, I mean, this situation is
bad. You were going to dog walk him. That's what that's what it was. You thought you was going to dog walk him. Yeah. You didn't think the 3 pounds mattered. Now all of a sudden the 3 pounds matter, and then you find out about Osirine and stuff. And like, to me, I feel like if you feel like the weight and the Osirine is why he won, your mental health shouldn't be shooken.
Nah, he's pretty bad right now. I mean, it is what it is. But let's move forward. I feel like this. I feel like we're gonna be talking about this for a while. I feel like this is not the end of it. The fact that he's gonna launch his lawsuit. At first, I thought it was BS. To be honest with you, then when I heard the audio, I was like, wow. Like I don't know who's in his corner right now. I don't think he should have did that. You know what I mean?
But before we move on, here's kind of what I'm thinking. The fact that so many people are talking about this and it's such a hot button issue, you should be able to get fights. You can't get fights because your father has burned bridges. That's really what it is. Because people are talking about Devin Haney. We're talking about it. You think people don't want to see him get knocked out again, ass up in the ring and stuff like that? Like, trust me, people will watch that.
But think about it. If he's coming, you just heard what he said. He just came out and stated, right, that he can't get the fight. You know he's reaching out. You know he's making calls. Remember, he told what's his face? Eddie Hearn when he went 3 pounds over, yo, make that fight with Martin. I'm gonna defend the belt. He said that, right? Now all of a sudden they're like, look, Devin, your value's down. We got $1 million for you, and he's like, what? Like I mean, think about it. It did affect him. It really did affect his money. Now, how far it goes in court, I don't know, to be honest, because Ryan is facing multiple lawsuits, by the way. It's about 4 of them at this point, So
a loss was going to affect his career regardless, because if they didn't find Ostarine in the system, then what? Yeah, it still was going to be $1 million.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if he,
it still was going to be $1 million because nobody else. Look, the people who offering them the money, Bob and them, they don't care that Ryan was cheating. If anything, that's more of a reason to pay him.
Yeah, I mean, but it does bring down the value of Devin, man. I'm telling you, Devin's aura was the undefeatedness and that aura of invincibility, taking people deep in the water and beating them. And the last memory we have of him is getting killed, pretty much out there. But let's move on. Gervonta Davis, Frank Martin. Let's talk about it. You were at the fight. Fight. It was very electric in the building. I seen everybody going crazy, people doing their thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, how was the experience watching Tank live?
So it's my second time watching him live. The first time was I saw him fight Rolly out in Barclays.
Okay.
And it's a different type of crowd, bro. Like, you could definitely see a lot of Baltimore, a lot of Maryland. They definitely make the trip. We flew out there with them. I actually met Calvin Ford at the airport and stuff like that. It was a great atmosphere, especially like when they got to fighting. Like Frank Martin, salute to him. He did his thing when he was out there. The crowd really, I'm gonna tell you. Now it was a tank. It was a pro tank crowd. But they were going crazy, including myself. People were going crazy for Benavidez, bro. Benavidez, speaking of which, we were talking about it earlier. If Benavidez can go and be the co-main on the tank fight, more fighters should be willing to make more events that way, or humble themselves. Because David Benavidez is one of the biggest stars in the sport. And that right there, that fight, that was a good little fight. But I think that in the atmosphere, David Benavidez, I say that to say David Benavidez made the atmosphere as well. Yeah.
No, he definitely did. But it's crazy. After that fight, a lot of people were like, man, I don't know if he could rock with Canelo. He couldn't knock him out. Then, Benavidez talked about the injured hand. Now, Benavidez is not a one-punch type of fighter. He kind of beats the hell out of you. He throws a lot of combinations. He is a monster. Like, he's very tough, but he looked human when he fought this 175-pound fighter.
He was much smaller. He was much smaller in person, dog. I mean, when I looked at them, like, bro looked like he was fighting. He looked like he was 210, bro. He looked way bigger than Benavidez in person.
Well, 100%. I mean, people forget when Canelo went up to 175 to fight Bivol. Bivol's probably walking around at 200. Benavidez says he walks around at 200. That 7 pounds is a lot because those guys are coming down from higher weights. That's why I keep telling people what Usyk did against Tyson Fury is unbelievable. He should probably be ranked the #1 pound for pound fighter because there is no weight limit at heavyweight. He's fighting guys 80 pounds bigger.
I'll tell you, I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it if he was #1. I believe Bud's the #1 fighter in the world, but I wouldn't be mad if Usyk won because he has the opponents behind him too. He has like his resume is better than Crawford's.
100%.
His resume is better than Inouye's. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
I mean, dog, he beat Anthony Joshua, right? He beats Tyson Fury, arguably the 2 best fighters or the ranked fighters.
And they're both giants, bro. They're both giants.
100%.
Yeah,
and he's coming from cruiserweight, and he unified.
Yeah,
like
he unified both. You know what I'm saying? He did. You know what I'm saying? He was undisputed in both.
Exactly. I mean, how is he not #1 is beyond me. I got Canelo in my top 5. You know what I mean? I'm a big Canelo fan. That's why I bring up the Benavidez situation. Benavidez did look very human, but he said it was an injury. But again, he went up to 175. But I will tell you this: in Benavidez's defense, those guys are a lot bigger, but he is bigger. But I will say this: his biggest mistake, in my opinion, that could possibly happen, is if he does try to fight the winner of Bivol and Beterbiev, right, next. Because I don't think he beats Bivol or Beterbiev. And if he loses, he will have nothing to hang his hat on to fight Canelo.
He said he wanted to go back down to 168, and I can see why. Because he was 189 that night, and he looked small. He looked small.
But you know what it is though too. He wants to. That's the only fight he wants at 168. That's the only one. And Canelo doesn't want to fight him. Canelo's not as big as Benavidez, so he's like, nah, bro. And he doesn't really like Benavidez, so it's one of those situations that's kind of weird. But I mean,
go ahead and make that fight, make that bag, bro, and get out of the sport and go retire,
Canelo,
man.
You know what?
Because let's be real. Let's be real. What is he hanging around for? That's the biggest fight to make in the sport. That's the biggest fight. And if you don't want the biggest fight anymore, then you know what I'm saying, take it, like, go ahead, fight this fight, walk away. Because I mean, what else is there? You don't want to fight, you don't want to get back with Bivol. You know what I'm saying? You obviously don't want Beterbiev. Like, who else is there for you to fight?
Well, think about this for a second. Let's think about it for a second. He's getting $40 million a fight.
Yeah,
I mean, it's to fight anybody. We can't give Tank a pass. We're gonna get on Tank right now for fighting guys like Frank Martin and Rolly.
I don't give either one of them a pass. But Canelo at this point, he's a veteran.
No.
He's been around a long
time.
time. Yeah. He's been around a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all don't want, look, if he's gonna turn down, then stop giving him $40 million, guys. Who's giving them the money?
I was talking to my boy Creek right the other day, right? And because, you know, people say, oh, Gervonta's the face of boxing. I'm like, bro, Gervonta doesn't even get nowhere near the sales of Canelo.
Yeah,
right?
I can't call him that anymore. I was in the building, and there were seats available. I can tell you that much.
But this is the crazy thing. He doesn't get the pay-per-view buys. He doesn't sell out like Canelo, right? But this is the crazy part. If you've ever been to Mexico, right, and you go see a Canelo fight, right? He doesn't pay-per-view the fights in Mexico. They stream for free. So imagine how many buys he would have in Mexico if they were selling pay-per-views. And he's still the #1 pay-per-view guy in those divisions. That's kind of crazy.
It is. That is. Damn, I didn't even know that.
Bro, I'm telling you, I watched the Sanders fight there, the Saunders, when he fought him. My man watched, I forgot who it was. It's free. He works out a deal where he doesn't charge his people in Mexico for the fight.
Well, you know what though? It's actually funny that you say that because he might not even be. Because if we're talking about that, shoot, the most pirated boxer in the world is Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, I think one of the Deontay Wilder fights, I think 10 million people streamed it. 10 million? Like,
he made 130 million his last fight.
You said what?
I think he made 130 million.
Sheesh.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, people, talk about the Canelo situation with Benavidez. Canelo knows he can get the money. He
Yeah.
knows he can get the money. It is what it is. He knows Turk. I can't even say his name. I always mess it up.
Turkey Al-Sheikh.
Turkey Al-Sheikh wants to do it. I mean, he's trying to get Crawford killed at 168. You know what I mean? I get it. But he got the money. And Canelo's not stupid. If I'm getting 40 to fight this guy, you're going to put me in the ring with Benavidez. Benavidez is a problem. You're going to pay me that type of money. So I believe that. But back to Gervonta. And I want to talk about this because he's finally going to fight, apparently, November 2nd. This is the rumors I'm hearing. Vitaly Lomachenko, which I've been waiting for this fight for years. I'm tired of, and I don't agree with Tank being in the top 10 pound for pound rankings because he doesn't hold any belt. I mean, no, he didn't beat anybody for the belts. He hasn't unified. He's been going to avoiding the guys in his division, and there's a lot of names. So I can't give him that off the strength of beating Frank Martin. I just can't. I got Lomachenko in front of him, and I got Teofimo in front of him. I got Usyk in front of him. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people I got in front of him. But the fact that I'm hearing November 2nd, him versus Lomachenko, excites me. I mean, what's your take on him being the pound for pound list number 4? They had him in front of Canelo, which is crazy.
As funny as people want to say it, bro. You really could have Devin in front of him at this point. Still, even with the loss of Ryan, you could have Devin in front of him, just based off a body of work. Mm-hmm. I agree with you, and I'm to the point. Look, I'm a Tank fan. I went out and saw him fight 2 times. I'm from the DMV, even though that's not Baltimore. I love Tank. Time to start seeing him mix it up, bro. Yeah. I'm excited to see him mix it up. And I actually said that to Calvin Ford at the airport. Mm-hmm. And he kind of got a little defensive when I said that. He kind of got a little defensive because he's like, he's been in there with these guys before. But his biggest thing was he wanted to get him to shake off the cobwebs. And I think they're going to start.
Almost 30 years old.
But you know what, though? I kind of feel like it's not all on him. I think he would fight these guys. He wants to fight. Like he said he wants to fight Shakur. I think Floyd was holding up a lot of that. I think
I agree with that.
I think Floyd was holding up a lot of that. The feud there. Because I do think he would have mixed it up with a lot of these guys. Come on, Tevin Farmer. He would have fought Tevin Farmer.
Yeah. But I think it was kind of weird that he tweeted that Lomachenko was next and then deleted it. Like, I think his team still, even with Floyd not being involved, I mean, we got Leonard Ellerby now behind and whatnot. I feel like, they maybe just try to collect as many checks as possible because to me, I think Tank is talented, very talented, right? But the things he's pulling off against guys like Rolly and guys like Frank Martin, he's not going to be able to pull off against a guy like Shakur Stevenson. And what I mean by that is he gives a lot of rounds away and relies on eventually just putting them away after, he kind of, they get a little more tired and don't have as much impact on punches. Shakur Stevenson is not somebody that's very easy to connect with. And to continue to lose rounds, I feel like it's going to catch up to him. That's going to be Tank's downfall, is giving away rounds like that. And against guys like Lomachenko, I don't think you can do that against Loma. I don't think you can do that against Shakur. And I think that's something that people are looking at this air of invincibility with Tank, but I see that's the biggest red flag with Tank right now. And maybe Calvin Ford sees the same thing. I mean, what's your take on that?
No, I think when I talked to Calvin, he seemed a lot more confident. I think he knows that Tank can beat these guys. Mm-hmm. But he's got to go out there and show it, man. I mean, bottom line. I know to your point though, and I kind of wanted to say this, but I wanted you to finish your question, finish your thought. Mm-hmm. I think Shakur would have beat him the other night.
Absolutely.
That we saw, I think Shakur would have won. That's not taking anything away from his performance. I just think based on the rust that we saw, Shakur would have kind of pieced him and then got out of the corners. Mm-hmm. I think he wouldn't have been able to walk him into the corners like he was able to do Frank Martin.
Well, and to be honest, if you look at the left side of his face, I think it was left or right, he was peppered a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Lomachenko is a dog. Let's not get it twisted. And people may say, "Oh, it was Kambosos." Devin Haney couldn't put Kambosos away, nor Teofimo. He dog walked Kambosos. I mean, they had to throw pretty much the towel in. He beat the living hell out. Like, people need to understand, Lomachenko is a different type of animal. Like, that's not somebody that you want to give away rounds to.
Well, I'll ask this: was Kambosos finished though? Because he had a fight before that, and a lot of us thought he lost.
I mean, yeah, but the way he got done in by Lomachenko, it wasn't. I mean, listen, I hear what you're saying, but Lomachenko is not that type of guy to give. I mean, people say, yeah, he's a slow starter, this and that. He may start off a little slow versus Tank because of the power, but I don't think he could do that against a guy like Lomachenko. But definitely not against a guy like Shakur Stevenson, in my opinion.
Yeah. Only thing that I'll say this about Lomachenko can get sat down. And if there's anybody that can sit him down, it's Tank. But we got to see it, bro. Like, it's two southpaws. Would love to see it. I could see Loma banking some rounds, and then I could see Tank sitting him down. You know what I'm saying?
I could definitely see that. I think the person, and this is just my opinion, who I don't think Tank can beat, and I think he can beat Loma. I'm with you on that. I just think he needs to be a little more aggressive, stop doing what he's doing. I don't believe he could beat Teofimo. That's the guy I believe, if they were to fight, that man beats him. And I think it's because out of those three, he cracks better than the other two. And he's very athletic.
And you know what else too? Teofimo has a chin. He has a chin. You know what I'm saying? Like, he does get hurt, but you know what I'm saying? You rarely see him get put down. He got put down one time, kind of like a flash knockdown. Now, the thing that gives Teofimo trouble, I kind of feel like Devin Haney could give Teofimo a little bit more trouble because of the movement and because of the activity. Yeah. Like, Teofimo don't really like that. You know what I'm saying?
He don't like the running. He doesn't like to cut the ring. That's
but if somebody doing a whole bunch of jabbing or, you know what I'm saying, punching when he's trying to punch or whatever, like, he don't really like that. He don't really like that.
But you know what's crazy about Teofimo too? And this is the one thing that I love about him. The biggest fights, he looks like a complete different fighter. Like, bro, he dog walked Josh Taylor.
He really dog walked Loma, except for maybe 3 rounds. He really dog walked him. Like, I mean, like, to the point where Loma was so gun shy, he didn't want to throw no punches because he felt them punches on his arms. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
I mean, and that's kind of the fight I want to see. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think they're gonna avoid the Teo versus Gervonta fight, but that's the one that I want to see, and that's just me. I love Teofimo Lopez.
And we talk about big fights, and I think that could be the buildup of that would be epic. The buildup would be epic.
You know, 100%. I mean, but Shakur's been the most vocal about it. Teo apparently. I mean, to be honest with you, Bob Arum was talking about doing the Teo versus Gervonta, which I think, in my opinion, is a big mistake for Devin. Teo versus Devin. I think that would be a huge mistake for Devin to take right now.
Right now, yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean? But I mean, I'm just excited to see Gervonta finally find some of these guys.
Yeah, me too. I love it, bro. Love it.
I mean, I hope it goes through. I hope he don't finds another Rolly Romero somewhere. You know what I mean? You know what's crazy? Speaking of Rolly, maybe Devin fights Rolly.
He should have fought Rolly. He should have fought Rolly anyway.
Yeah.
He should have, in my opinion, Rolly should have been before Ryan. I get why Ryan was the fight, but Rolly should have been the fight when he had the title.
Makes more sense, yeah.
Yeah. They feel like they're so above Rolly, but I'm gonna tell you something. Rolly, when Rolly talks, the world kind of stops, bro.
He's hilarious.
He's hilarious. Yeah, he outside of Tyson Fury, those are the two best like talkers in the sport, in my opinion.
He called him Oscar de la Fishnets. He is absolutely hilarious. Listen, I'm with you. And that might be something that Devin should think about fighting Rolly, because it'll be a big fight. You'll probably get a bigger check because more people will be tuned in. Nobody wants to see him fight Martin. I mean, yeah, whatever for the belt, whatnot. But Rolly maybe. I mean, Rolly's damaged, but he's gonna sell the fight. It's gonna be,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I mean, that's what I would do, to be honest with you. Rolly Romero is great, man. Like, he's not a great
I
boxer.
love Rolly.
He's
I
not.
think Rolly's great for the sport, bro. I love Rolly.
I mean, he should be a commentator. He's hilarious, dog. Like, I
Yeah,
watch
for sure.
every time, bro. I don't even care about his fights. I just like watching his
Yeah.
press conference, bro. Like, dog, like he's a different breed, man. And I'm with you on that aspect. But you know, we're definitely gonna see. But Gervonta Loma, get back to that. If it happens November 2nd, who you got?
I'm sorry, who?
Gervonta Loma. Or you think could it be somebody else? Could it be Shakur?
Nah, hell no, ain't gonna be Shakur. It's gonna be Loma if it is a fight. I think I'm gonna go with the young legs, Gervonta. I think Gervonta wins. I think he wins that fight.
I don't think he wins a decision, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But see, like I also kind of think that could become a barn burner fight. Like people don't believe that it could, but I could see that being a barn burner fight towards the end. Because Loma, like we say, he does have slow starts. Tank has slow starts as well, but I could see them trying to vie for position towards the end.
Tank's slow starts are literally the worst. Like his activity a lot of times. Like even when I was watching the fight versus that he just had against Frank Martin, like his activity was so low.
It's actually funny. So in person, that's why I was asking people like, what are the commentators saying? Because Frank was able to hit him with some stuff, but I never felt like he was out of position. I felt like you could see him setting Frank up, and I think Frank was never comfortable. And even the shots he was hitting him with, he never was able to really sit down. You know what I'm saying?
Tank, and that's the problem when you fight a guy like Tank. A lot of these guys don't want to sit in their punches because then there might be one coming back. But I will say this: once it was the second round, I think, and all you heard was his corner, like he tells his corner, I tasted his best shots. He ain't got nothing, and that's when he started to turn up.
Yeah,
and that's what he does. He kind of wants to taste the power, and then that's when he started to walk him down. You know, to be honest, that's what he did.
The only thing that I felt like, and this is where I think Shakur would have won that night, I felt like his reaction to his reflexes were a little. That's the part that was the cobweb. Not the throwing the punches and not his feet. I think it was him slipping the punches a little bit. He was kind of, there to be hit a little bit more than usual. But his feet looked his feet looked so good.
No, he knows how to. He's a very smart fighter. I feel like when it comes to Gervonta, I feel like people underestimate his intelligence. He's a very intelligent fighter. But his activity, when you start fighting some of these elite fighters, and we all know this, once you start fighting guys that are champions and stuff like that, you rarely see a knockout. It's really a chess match. You know what I mean? You don't see too much of the Buck Crawford, Errol Spence type of stuff. It's more of a great fight. And I think that's where he could run into a lot of trouble because of the inactivity. You got to win rounds. You can't rely on that one shot. And I think Tank really relies on that. And maybe he doesn't want to get hit like that. He did get hit against Frank. It wasn't crazy, but I think Loma can do a lot more damage than Frank. He's very nifty. He's very shifty. He has the best footwork in boxing. Bro, I've seen him make a lot of guys quit. And I think that's something that he's gonna have to be a lot more aggressive early.
But would Loma give his power too much respect? Because he gave Teofimo a lot of respect, and Tank probably hits harder, in my opinion, than Teofimo. So we've seen him do that to guys like Devin Haney, like guys that don't punch as hard. But does he come out there and tense up a little bit because he's afraid or he's respecting that power a little bit?
No, absolutely, and it could be, it could be, but I think in that fight too, I think he had a hurt shoulder as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I remember the Teo fight, he was injured. But I mean, that's a good point. I mean, but I just feel like with Loma, knowing how slow of a starter Shakur,
He would have to jump on
is,
him. Yeah, for sure.
and that might be a big problem because once he gets in a rhythm, once he understands and he gets his distance, he gets everything right. It's not an easy thing to stop. You know what I mean? And you bring up Teal. Teal is very athletic, man. He's
Tank. Tank actually might be more athletic than.
I think he's stronger. I'm talking about like in and out, doing different things around the ring. I think he's a little more gifted boxing wise in regards to his athleticism.
Wow. Gifted boxing wise, I could say that I was like we were talking about athleticism. I say Tank. What Tank's a better athlete in my opinion.
He can do a mean backflip, but this guy can too. I'm just saying.
Yeah. True. Good point. You know what
I mean? But I look forward to this year of boxing. I feel like boxing is dope. I mean, there's a lot more, guys looking to fight, and that's why I did take my hat off to Devin because Devin was going after those big fights, and I hope more people do that. But we were talking about Shakur fighting Gervonta. I don't know, man. I think Shakur needs a big performance coming July. That's another thing.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna have to make a statement, and that's what it's gonna have to be.
You know what's crazy with Shakur? I was telling people he should have fought Matias, and I thought he would have beat Matias and made a statement.
He should have fought Devin when they offered him the 20% or whatever the hell it is. I think they offered him 30. He should have fought Devin, and I think he would have won. At 135, he would have beat him at 135.
They gave him 25% of the he offered him. And he was like,
he should have took that. In my opinion, he should have took it.
But it's a lot of pride, man. Sometimes with Shakur Stevenson, it's his pride that really messes him up, man. Shakur, although he's a talented fighter, people understand that. Like, you're not gonna sit there and beat him, and he's too high of a risk and less of a reward. And he doesn't understand, they're gonna avoid him at all costs because he's that good. So he's got to kind of figure something out because he wants that Tank fight bad, and Tank is kind of like, but I don't know, man. He's got to maneuver a little better, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it is, man. We talked about the black boxers. We talked about the black boxers earlier, and what the issue is. I think that their teams are telling them that they're worth more than what they really are at this point.
Well, Shakur was a celebrated Olympian too. Like, he was very celebrated.
He ain't knocking nobody out. Like I said, Wilder making more money than all these dudes.
No, but I'm talking about his own ego. I think it's his own ego. Like,
yeah.
Like, I should be getting it because I'm Shakur, and not realizing, like, bro, you gotta force Tank to fight you, and if it's not exciting, he can just continue to duck you. Like, oh, well, I'm good. I'll get to you later. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up Wilder because Wilder can get these fights. He can still get money. Hell, before the Canelo fight, Jermell was exciting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, there were a lot of fights for Jermell before that.
But he shit the bet against Canelo, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Bad, bro. Bad.
He embarrassed a lot of people, man. Like, he didn't even want to fight. Canelo hit him with a shot. I think, did he put him down?
Yeah, he put him down. He did.
And when he put him down, and he just was like, once he tasted Canelo's power, it was like, man, I ain't rocking with this, bro. He just ran the rest of the fight. And people gotta understand, man. Canelo he's a dog, man. People don't want to give it to him sometimes, but he's a dog. He said, when was the last time we saw an exciting performance?
Valdez.
And that was a good fight when he fought Oscar de Valdez. He got busy.
I thought he was up next because of that fight. I mean, the way he fought him, man, he beat Valdez ass that night.
Yeah, but you know what it is, man? Like, again, knock people out. It's like in baseball, it's the home run. In the NFL, it's the bomb, right? In NBA, it's the alley-oop dunk or the crossover, whatever. You got to possess something that makes people want to tune into you. Sitting there for 12 rounds, jabbing and hooking and taking it 12 rounds, people aren't getting excited, especially in this generation where people love fast entertainment and stuff like that. That's what makes Gervonta who he is. People don't even care who he fights. He can knock me or him out, and people will tune in because they want to see Gervonta knock people out.
Yep.
That's the reason. That's the reason he's getting pay-per-view fights. I mean, when was the last time you seen him on a fight where it wasn't a pay-per-view? I don't even know. It has to be years.
Probably was Gambo, maybe.
What was that, like 6 years ago?
Yeah, something like that. I think it was Gambo, probably.
Yeah, and you know, Shakur feels entitled. He feels like that should be him. But at the end of the day, you're not. You might have been. You definitely beat better competition.
Bro was fighting on Thursday and Friday nights, bro. Cut it. Cut it.
Cut it out, you on a Thursday night, bro. That's crazy.
Like you just talked about the highlight of a guy when, and I think he's okay, by the way. I think he was just severely dehydrated. That was his issue.
Oh, the guy that was scary though. I'm not gonna lie.
It was, but the whole point that I'm making is, Shakur, you fighting on the same night as that dude.
Yeah. And you know, Shakur, I think a lot of people like, and there's another thing too. Gervonta, yes, he knocks people out, but he's really likable. Like, he's actually likable when you see him. He's funny. He's kind of cool. Like, Shakur kind of comes off a little entitled, man. Like, it's kind of like, oh, bro, like I was this. I'm like, yo, bro, like somebody needs to talk to you in your PR right now, bro. Like, you need a really good PR, bro. So I mean,
look, it wasn't always like that for Tank. Floyd didn't let him talk. Floyd liked to talk about himself. I like this Tank much better.
No, 100%. I mean, no, listen, I'm with you. Tank is hilarious, bro. Like, I didn't know he was that funny.
You know like, it's like, Floyd, why wouldn't you let this guy talk? Bro, he's hilarious.
Well, I mean, we all know why. Floyd likes the spotlight. It's always, think about it. Whenever you see somebody question Floyd, what does he turn to? I got money. I own this. Why would I be jealous of Devin Haney? I own all these buildings. I do this. I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about, dude? Like,
yeah, Bill hurt his feelings, bro. Bill hurt his feelings.
Bill violated.
He got Devin beat.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much. But I'll let you rock out on that one, man. It was definitely dope, man. We got to do this more often, man.
For sure.
Definitely rock with your knowledge, man.
For sure.
Even though you're a Cowboys fan, you know what I mean?
It is what it is, man. Look, both of our team. I mean, y'all won the Super Bowl. You know, more recent, but we both, like, at the end of the day, we both stinking it up right now.
Yeah, I mean, man, y'all might lose. They were talking about losing Dak Prescott, which is kind of crazy. But CeeDee Lamb won like $100 million,
and give it to him.
$100 million a year.
Hey, give it to him, bro. Shoot, give him his guap.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. That's off topic, but Joe, did you hear about them possibly salary cap and quarterbacks? They have to, bro. They just gave this guy $55 million a year. I was like, what?
They should have been done it, bro. They should have been done it.
It's
in my
crazy.
opinion.
Now, I mean, the quarterback contracts now, receivers are up to, what was it?
35.
Jamar Chase is gonna pass that. It's kind of crazy right now, man. Somebody tell you got Jake Paul or Mike Perry. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know who Mike Perry is. I'm not gonna lie.
Me either. But I'm gonna pick Jake Paul.
Yeah, I mean Jake Paul picks people that he's
the money. You follow 100%. The money.
Yeah, that's a fact. But on that note, man, I definitely appreciate you. Let's chop it up, man. Let's do this whenever you want, man. We got to do this weekly or something, man.
For sure. I loved it, bro. I loved it. For sure.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right.
All right, man. We out of here.